Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Tuesday, October the 15th. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Gun to your head trading, part 4. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. And we were talking about gun to the head trading, and if somebody were to put a gun to your head and you had to make some pips, what would you do? Well, one of the things that when Walmall and I are talking, we talk about looking left a lot. So I took an indicator that I had written in 2017 and I modified it, slight modification. And this tells you currently, if you look at where the close is, it tells you how many wick zones it's above, the upper wick zones, how many bars inside an upper wick zone. So it's basically looking to the left. And it can give you an idea of, are you breaking out? Are you ranging? So just a few minutes ago, this number was sitting at 10 because it was breaking out. And so what would I do? Also, I put the highest open, lowest open, but I did it for M30. Now you can change that if you want. You could even do it, say, if you were under a time constraint. It's funny, I've got to update this indicator. It's got the old style input. So right there, that was the highest M5 open, even though we're looking at an M1 chart. Notice right here, you also had a flip-flop box. You've got an imbalance that needs to get taken out, and you've got one that just got put in. So what would I do? Well, maybe start from the beginning. We need to look at the day. What's happening with the day? Let's see which one of these charts. So we can see we've got 67 pips of range. You can see we broke out of the previous day's high. We broke out of the inside bar from a couple of days ago. And once again, if you look to the left, see there's some wick zones right there. I already looked, I checked to see if there was any news. It was Canadian news. So right now, looking here, we got the red month, but between 15 and weekly, you can see it's been pushing up. Looks like we may have just taken out that imbalance here. So we know, once again, got pretty big range. We're right around the 131, so there's going to be some action there. Now it already broke it once. Yeah, we did take out that imbalance. So might want to look for it to come back to this level and here. So between the 00 and the 75, price is going to have to hit one of those right now. It's either going to go down to 30.75 or go back up to 31. What else do we know? We know these big bars, big range bars, price usually has to come back to those levels. And this level hasn't been hit yet. So as you can see, once again, we moved out of a range, hit a top, had a flip-flop, also was an M5 highest open. Could come right through there. Now we just hit an imbalance zone. So what I would do right now, okay, do I have to put a trade on right now, or can I wait for a setup? You see, that's something that we have to determine. Of course, you have to wait for your setup. So I would wait to see if price would come back to the 3100 level, and I'd look for a short. But it would be a quick short. Why? Because of all this green. Now, using some of the fundamentals, higher highs, higher lows, you see we've got flat bottom across here, higher highs, higher highs. So you might want to trade the pullbacks out of that imbalance zone or off an edge of a range. So you can see this from this range, you might want to trade here, because also you've got a couple more imbalances here. And now there was a person who said something about an EA, but it's like, sure, you can do a buy zone EA or wick zone EA. I've done them. And those are entry EAs. And the reason I use them sometimes is you let the computer put you in the trade, but you can then either let the computer also take you out of the trade, or you can manage the trade by seat of your pants, by trading in the moment. Because, if price flashes up 5 pips really quickly and there wasn't any news, it's like, hey, I might just grab those 5 pips because it could just flash back, say 5 and then another 2, flashback 7 on you. Now you're looking at -2 and you were +5. How are you gonna code that in an EA? Because you have to remember, EAs run tick by tick. So they sit there, they wait for the tick, and while waiting for the tick, it could be too late. Because that's when the computer starts running, when it gets the tick. Otherwise, it's just sitting there waiting to move. And see, those are things that, traders who probably aren't programmers or trained programmers don't realize. So we hit the 98 level. That imbalance is now gone. You just had a flip-flop box to the downside. You can see here we're with the M30 candle color. I like trading with the M30 because after I ran the stats, at least on the pound, we know the M30 candles like to cover. And for those of you tuning in, you can see here how many times a candle gets covered, meaning the high and low of this candle, the low is lower than the bottom and the high is higher than the top of the body. So you can see here, this candle did not get covered. This candle got covered. The body got covered. So you can see here that was quick, lived, red. You can see here there's a top to be, or a high to be scraped on the movement, up and then back down. Notice the range of these M30 candles for the last 10 hours. We only had 2 under 10, all over 9. So there's pips to be had here. Also notice how many times price comes back, touches indicator 2. So I'd be looking for price to come back and hit indicator 2. If not this candle, next candle. Now, once again, when it hits a double low, then it's a pullback to 95, comes back up, then it goes down to 90, might come back up, and then you're starting to look at, your 80 and 75 level. Does it happen all the time? No, no, no. That's why we have our stop loss. That, a friendly reminder about risk management. Never lose more than you're willing to lose on any one single trade. So if we shift back over to this M1 chart, you can see what's happening. So looking left, notice right back to that highest open and reversal off of that level. So, gun to the head trading, people ask, what's your method? It's like, it's horizontal lines. And there's many places you can put them on the chart. So when you have, multiple methods, if we were, say, near the daily open, then I'm going to use the daily open, and possibly the buy zone. If we're crossing above the previous day's high or below the previous day's low, that's the horizontal line I'm going to trade. I'm going to check, has the pivot been taken out? Are we fading the pivot? And you do these things in the moment. Can you put all that into an EA? Yeah, maybe, if you really want to spend a lot of time on it. But there'd be so much logic. I don't know. You can make it very successful. So you can see here, history is repeating itself in and out of this imbalance area right around the 90. And so if you look, it's now establishing a new range. So price is going to probably need to get out of this range. But you know what, fellow traders? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. So let me know if you have any questions. But, gun to your head trading, you take a look at what's going on with price, the daily range, where price is compared to, say, yesterday's levels, yesterday's open, close, high, low, previous midpoint. You start drawing your horizontal lines, and here we had a 3100 level. I mean, you really have to trade in the moment and trade what you see, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is TheRumpledOne over.